finally got out to go ice skating. Hello. Today I failed my first goal. I decided to add a new color for that. It's not really my fault though. That was the tutoring goal, and I wanted to go there 3 times, right? But they canceled the first one, and they canceled the third one because of Martin Luther King Day. And there's only 4 Mondays this month, so I couldn't possibly have done it. I'm kind of glad though, because that frees me up to go to one of the Moth recording sessions at Haymarket Pub. This is what the whole thing looks like. I decided that the complete ones I might as well just fill in. This one I'm confident about, so I filled in on track already, even though the check-in isn't technically for another week. So there are 2 of these that just depend on me finding some time to do it on my own, like the composition goal and the GitHub pull request goal. So I haven't started either of those yet, kind of because I guess I figure I can cram it in at the end after I finish all those other things that are more dependent on careful scheduling and that kind of thing. This has been a really interesting month, and I'm glad that I decided to try to do this. I'm actually feeling pretty confident that I will be able to finish all the other 16 goals. Well, okay, I'm looking at some of these at-risk ones, and that was a lie. I don't really feel confident that I'll finish all of them, but at least I feel that it's possible. Today is January 13th, 2015, and if you'll recall, my first video on the start of Cuvio Week was on January 13th, 2014, and that means it's been a year. I have to get to work right now, so I can't have a long heart-to-heart to you about everything that vlogging has meant to me, but I'll get to that later tonight, I promise. I kind of wish I could have started this video in the pitch black like my first video, but I'm not doing Cuvio, it's too far away, so it really wasn't likely to happen. You will have to find your own symmetry to bookend this year of vlogs. That door was more challenging than I expected it to be. Alright, now it's time to talk to you about the end of the vlog. So if you'll remember, in my first video I talked about some reasons that I had for starting it. And now I'm going to talk to you about why I think I've sort of accomplished what I wanted to accomplish with most of those reasons. So there's 7 sort of goals that I want to go over. One of the things I wanted to accomplish with the vlog was to learn how to post videos to YouTube and the techniques that YouTubers often use. And, well, I've edited hundreds of jump cuts, I wrote and shot a few skits, I found the 2 main sound libraries that YouTubers use. I made some montages, I tinkered around with playback speed, made some composite shots, and I think I've learned a lot. Obviously there's always so much more that I could learn, but at the moment I'm more interested in learning new hobbies than I am in learning more about this hobby. The second reason I had for vlogging is to see myself in third person, as others see me. At this point, I'm not too freaked out when I see and hear myself on camera, so in that sense I guess I've kind of accomplished that. Although there are still some shots in which my appearance surprises me, for better or for worse. I guess that in itself is kind of a lesson about judging from appearances. A third reason for vlogging was to document myself online, so that I would have a place to send people that wanted to learn more about me. And there are now about 8 to 10 hours of footage on this channel, which I think is a pretty goodly number. Of course, I could always record more and document myself more, but I think a year of vlogging is already a nice, round, slightly impressive number, and so that goal has been accomplished. I don't really know exactly what I plan to do with this documentation, but it's there. The fourth reason for vlogging was so that I could practice verbal communication. Storytelling, intonation, enunciation, all that stuff. And I think we can agree, if you did go back and watch my early videos, that I've made a lot of progress, and that there's still more that I can learn. But vlogging is not the only way to practice verbal communication, and in fact I think there are better ways. Like talking to real people. My fifth reason for vlogging was to motivate myself to do interesting things. If you recall, I talked about that camera as sort of like an eye onto my life that would keep me aware of what I was doing and make sure that what I was doing was worth doing. But if this last month has been any indication, an even more effective way to convince myself to do interesting things is to set a good list of goals and have a good way of keeping track of my progress on them. Now, I had 2 more reasons for vlogging, and unfortunately for these 2, I don't have as good an excuse for stopping vlogging as I do for the other 5. I'm gonna have to sort of think about these last 2 reasons and figure out how to accomplish what vlogging accomplished in other ways. The first of those 2 is to create a set of memories that I can look back on when I'm older. And the second is to let my family and friends keep track of my life, if they're so inclined. The fact that I have trouble with regarding memories is that anything I do in the next year is not going to be recorded. And to put it somewhat drastically, what's the point of doing all these interesting things if I'm not going to have a video record of them to prove it, or to remind myself? And I know you're thinking right now, oh my god, Nathan, you're such a millennial. And okay, I realize that life without video is the way things always used to be, but I still think the question is interesting, and I'm going to keep it in mind as I transition out of this whole vlogging thing. Why am I doing things even when there's not always proof that I did them? Or even when I might not be able to remember every last detail of it later. As for keeping my family abreast of my activities, I guess I'm just going to have to do what everyone else does and rely on pictures and phone calls. Now, Aunt Amy and Aunt Nancy, and obviously Mom and Dad, you've all told me that you like watching these videos, so obviously I'm really sorry to be stopping them, but I hope that the justifications I've just given have sort of been able to explain why I'm doing it. And all of you, this is not necessarily goodbye forever. I might pull a Cassandra and go back to regularly posting after a year of intermittent updates, but right now I'm just interested in looking into other hobbies instead.